Breaking tonight, the man accused in a deadly church shooting in Aurora shot and killed by police.
We have prematurely identified him as Jose de Jesus Montoya Villa.
Tonight, we're live at the scene breaking down the chain of events that led to this fatal confrontation.
A first on Denver 7. Body camera video shows the moment a driver is shot and killed by authorities in El Paso County.
I just really hope that they know that he was a loving father and that he cared for us deeply.
The officers have been cleared, but the family says they still need answers.
And we want to know, and we want some justice for Mr. Garcia.
A major step in Boulder's journey toward healing.
My heart is full, and everybody here, we're all a family.
Table Mesa King Supers welcomes back customers for the first time in 11 months.
And we begin tonight with a wanted suspect no longer wanted. Authorities say the man accused of killing a woman at an Aurora church has been shot by police.
Denver 7 Sloan Dickey joins us from Aurora tonight, breaking down the violent chain of events that led up to the shooting. Sloan?
Yeah, Aurora police did confirm the identity of that suspect who was shot earlier this evening. They confirmed it was Jose de Montoya Villa, the suspect from that Aurora church shooting that left one woman dead and two pastors injured. Now, here is the scene earlier this evening at Broncos Parkway and Parker Road. This is where the crime spree ended. Around 3:45 this afternoon on North Dayton Street in Aurora, police say Montoya Villa opened fire in a parking lot, shot a 26-year-old, and then carjacked someone. That man is in the hospital but is expected to be okay. Police say the suspect was then involved in a hit-and-run crash. He then robbed a liquor store and then carjacked another car at gunpoint near 225 and Parker Road. When police spotted the suspect, a chase ensued. Police say the suspect then confronted officers, and officers then opened fire. The suspect died at the hospital this evening. Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson tweeted this out earlier this evening, saying she's thankful that no officers were injured in this incident that spanned more than 14 miles and 2 counties.
This is obviously someone that wasn't afraid to use his weapon. We're all relieved that no officers were hurt, and we're relieved that a violent criminal has now been taken off the street.
Now, this investigation is still ongoing. As you can see those police lights behind me, but police officers reiterated to me this evening that they are relieved no officers were injured in this pursuit, and there is no longer a threat to the public. In Centennial, Sloan Dickey, Denver 7.
Thank you, Sloan. Also breaking tonight, authorities have arrested the man wanted in connection with a double murder in rural Douglas County. The sheriff's office says Casey Michael Duvall was located and arrested in Salina, Kansas about 8 o'clock tonight. Sources tell Denver 7 investigates Duvall reportedly shot and killed his sister and another person inside a home along Russellville Road near Franktown yesterday. Authorities have not said anything about a motive.
Tonight, a family is calling on the federal government to launch a civil rights investigation after their loved one was shot and killed by police in El Paso County last year.
Now, the DA determined Robert Garcia's death was justified. The family, though, is claiming excessive force.
And tonight, in a story you're seeing first here on Denver 7, our CB Cotton has obtained exclusive body camera video showing the moments before officers fired.
And Shannon, the family of Robert Garcia believes the body camera video in this case is proof that excessive force was used. Now they want the world to see the video too. We do want to warn our viewers that what you're about to see may be disturbing.
Hands up!
Just before 5:30 p.m. on April 19th, 2021, Officer Isaac Abila from the Fountain Police Department arrives on northbound I-25 near Woodman Road. Colorado State troopers and other officers are on scene to arrest Robert Garcia, the driver of this white U-Haul truck. Stop sticks had just been used to halt Garcia's car.
He's reaching. I know he's reaching, but he's reaching. He's opening the beer.
Troopers said Robert Garcia led them on a chase after he was involved in an attempted armed robbery in Pueblo. Less than a minute after Officer Abila arrives on scene, Garcia's car begins to travel forward and Abila fires through the passenger window. Garcia received first aid and later died at a local hospital.
I wished this would have turned out different.
And Gloria Garcia, Robert Garcia's mother, and his brother, Claudio Garcia, say the ordeal should have.
I mean, he was murdered. I mean, flat out.
He didn't have to shoot my son that many times. He was surrounded with the police.
A claim backed up by the family's attorney, Leonard Martinez, who sent this letter to the Department of Justice this week, asking for a civil rights investigation while alleging excessive force was used on Garcia.
Obviously, El Paso County works with Fountain Police Department on criminal cases all the time. So there was some incentive, I believe, on their part to justify the shooting.
According to a press release, Officer Abila fired 11 rounds. 5 of them struck Robert Garcia. The DA said Abila thought a trooper was in the direct path of Garcia's car.
But when you look at the videotape and you wonder when this cop empties his firearm into this truck in such a reckless manner, and that's the key, it was in such a reckless manner, not only endangering and killing Mr. Garcia, but he endangered the other officer, the state patrol that was there.
Now, Robert Garcia's 3 sons, Gabriel, Patrick, and Elias, say they want justice, describing their father as loving, devoted, and someone who instilled in them the sport of boxing.
I just really hope that they know that he was a loving father and that he cared for us deeply. And off of one mistake doesn't mean you get your life taken away.
The sons saying the officer gave their dad a death sentence instead of putting him in jail.
My number one wish, if I could go back, would just be I can call my dad from jail. I could talk to him, and we can make things all right.
I just can't let him go. He was the best thing. He was the best person I ever had in my life.
CB Cotton, Denver 7.
We reached out to the district attorney's office. They said it would be inappropriate to comment at this time. A BB gun was found in Garcia's truck, but the family attorney says that gun was never brandished at officers.
A Colorado mother will spend 16 years in prison for abusing her late daughter. Kelly Turner pleaded guilty in January to charges of child abuse, charitable fraud, and theft. Investigators say Turner faked stories about her daughter, Olivia Gant's health, leading to unnecessary surgeries and medications. The 7-year-old passed away in 2017, and doctors say Turner's behavior was consistent with Munchausen syndrome, a psychological disorder that causes parents to seek attention from their child's illness or condition. In a statement, Olivia's family says they hope laws can be named after their sweet Olivia to help prevent Olivia's tragic death from happening to another child.
An arrest warrant's been issued for Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters for obstruction of justice. Now, Peters was detained Tuesday by Grand Junction police during a search warrant to seize an iPad. Peters is accused of using that iPad to illegally record a courtroom hearing. And according to an affidavit, Peters tried preventing authorities from getting to that iPad. As police were trying to restrain Peters, she also kicked at one of the officers. Now, at last check, Peters is not in custody. And this comes as she is being investigated for allegedly tampering with Mesa County's elections equipment.
Masks will soon no longer be required inside schools in Denver. Denver Public Schools announced today that the school mask requirement will end at midnight on February 25th. Denver's Mayor Hancock calls the move a viable step, with COVID cases in Denver falling and the city's vaccination rate above 80% for people 5 and older. Meanwhile, the vice president of the Denver Public School Board says board members should hold a vote before ending the mask requirement. In an email, Tay Anderson shared concerns about lifting the order, writing, quote, "I believe this decision disregards our immunocompromised students, educators, and families." On calling for a vote during the board meeting February 24th, he says the DPS community deserves to know where each member stands on the issue.
The Jeffco School Board meeting had to be closed to the public today because of a threat targeting district leaders, including the superintendent. Now, the district says the threat was related to a demand around mask removal. Police are investigating the credibility of this threat. Jeffco Schools previously announced their mask requirement would end February 18th.
A symbolic step toward healing nearly 1 year after a gunman ended 10 innocent lives at the Table Mesa King Supers in Boulder. Today, for the first time since the horror and shock of March 22nd, the store welcomed customers back inside.
Over the last 11 months, the store's been remodeled. As one customer told us, the King Supers is more than a store. It's like a community center.
It feels so good to have it all open. The energy is so positive and everybody's just so happy. This is where we gather together with a lot of our friends all the time.
It's very touching to see everybody here, and it's been a long year without the store. There's been a lot of grieving in our community, and I think the fact that the store is open again will give everybody a chance to regroup and celebrate the fact that our spirit is strong.
Later this spring, a tree garden will be planted outside the store, and each tree will represent one of the 10 lives lost in that shooting.
Including Suzanne Fountain, a financial counselor who had a passion for theater, and Denny Stong, a young employee at the store who was doing his grocery shopping when his life was senselessly cut short.
And Denver 7 is committed to sharing the stories of all the lives lost in Boulder, and you can read their stories anytime, and also about the impact they had on their friends and their family. It's right now on thedenverchannel.com.
A young girl learns there are 2 holes in her heart, but proves she's full of spirit through it all.
I was super excited to have it fixed and to be able to run like all the other kids would.
Mild today and tomorrow, but flakes in the Friday forecast.
Plus, more bidders emerge in the billionaire battle to buy the Broncos.